It's like 11 o'clock. There ain't gonna be any jokes in this one. This is probably gonna be a sub 10-minute video because I'm tired. Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're making the final sardine recipe. I know, it's gonna be sad. September's ending, and with it goes the sardines. But hopefully today we have a winner. It's gonna be a white bean and sardine stew, so I'm kind of excited to give that a go. If, you know, it is depressing and it becomes sad and it's all ruined, I decided to wear a green shirt because a green shirt can easily become a green screen, and I vaguely know how to do that. So at any moment, if I get real boring, I can just make my shirt into a green screen and show you something really cool. So look forward to that. Hopefully I'm not boring, but now you have something to look forward to. I will say I'm doubling the recipe today, so if you make this recipe and follow the, I'm saying the word recipe a lot, but I don't know how else to say this, but if you follow the recipe, you might be like, why does it look so much smaller than his? Or like if you use a giant Dutch oven, that might not be the wisest case, because I'm gonna be using a Dutch oven because I have a larger amount of quantity. So you could probably get away with like a smaller Dutch oven, like a pan, something like that. You're gonna have to use a little bit of judgment here if you do the normal amount. So just a warning, I don't wanna lead anybody astray, but yeah, so recipe is being doubled. And it's, the reason why I'm doubling it is because the whole tomatoes, the big can was on sale, and I figured, go big or go home. So here we are. That's the backstory of why I'm making a large amount of sardine stew today. Little peek behind the logic corner of my brain. So I think that was enough rambling, enough of insanity. Why don't we run through the ingredients and then get into cooking? Olive oil, breadcrumbs, minced garlic, grated carrots, thinly sliced celery, salt and pepper, whole peeled tomatoes, but we will need to drain this and then crush the tomatoes ourselves. Cannellini beans, also drained, and sardines. The first step is going to be to put some oil in a Dutch oven. Gonna let that all heat up on medium heat, and then we're gonna add the breadcrumbs, cook until golden, should take about 2 to 3 minutes. So now on medium heat, we're gonna add a little bit more oil to the Dutch oven, and then we're gonna add in the carrots, the celery, the garlic, and then salt and pepper, and then cook for about 1 to 2 minutes until those vegetables are soft. Now finally add the tomatoes, which we need to crush by hand, the beans and the sardines, and then we're gonna kind of stir that all up, breaking everything down a little bit more, and then we're gonna let that cook for 8 to 10 minutes until the stew thickens, which I'm still curious how it's gonna thicken without any liquid in there. Too thickened. It's already, I feel like, as thick as it's gonna get, but I'm ready to be proven wrong. And after it finishes cooking, you serve it, and then you're gonna garnish with the breadcrumbs that we toasted in the first step. All right, so here we have it. Very little liquid for something calling itself a stew, but I don't really think that's gonna be like, I guess, indicative of it being good or bad. It's just more of an observation. But I mean, like, if it is somehow a hindrance, there is the drained off liquid from the whole tomatoes that potentially in the future could be added in instead of drained off. So it's not really like, if it is an issue, it's not a inhibiting issue because you have liquid that you could add. We just chose to not. So let's give this a taste and then we'll see how good it is. Hopefully it's a winner because this is the last sardine recipe, but I will not let my bias shadow over top of my judgment. Trying to get it all in there. So honestly, pretty tasty. I do feel like having the liquid in there would benefit it. I'm not really sure how to articulate why, but I just feel like that would probably be a good addition, which would allow you to kind of cut out the draining, obviously, and then also you could, instead of hand crushing the tomatoes, just buy crushed tomatoes and just dump that whole thing in there. So that would streamline this recipe even more, which really isn't a long recipe. Like, I think it took me a little bit over 30 minutes with filming, which typically I would say doubles stuff, but this is so simple. It wasn't too hard. Most of it was just like in the same spot on the stovetop, so just kind of pointed it there. But I think the recipe itself only calls for like 20 minutes of what, it's probably even less than that, of cooking. This would be a good, quick weeknight dish. And I feel like you could even not have the sardines in there and make it, I guess this would be, it would be vegan, wouldn't it? I don't think there's any other meat products that I'm trying to remember all that I just put in there. I think it's all vegetables. So that could be like I feel like you would need to add something else to kind of balance things out, because the sardines definitely add some depth of flavor and some saltiness to it. So I'm not sure what that thing would be to add, but I feel like this could be a solid dish, just that. Probably just like some extra spices or something like that. I'm not sure. That would be interesting to experiment with. The big thing that kind of shocks me about this, obviously it's tasty, but how quick it was definitely stands out to me as being like kind of amazing. So I'm probably gonna add this to the rotation. I don't know if there's like ways that I can modify this, but just that snappiness just has a huge appeal of like a weeknight. You know, sometimes I get back from the gym pretty late, and all of these are pretty shelf-stable ingredients. So I can just kind of like have those ingredients on hand at all times. And if I get back one day and I'm like, I don't feel like cooking whatever's on the agenda, I could whip this up in like 30 minutes. Yeah, so I'm just kind of thinking about those possibilities, and it's throwing me off a little bit. But I think anybody can handle this. I've probably said that already, and I encourage you to give this one a try. And I'm pleased to say that we're ending Sardine September on a high note, because this is another winner. So 3 out of 4, I'd say is pretty solid, and I'm pretty sure the fourth one that, you know, wasn't a winner, I think is on me. I think I messed that up somehow. I probably need to try that recipe again and see if I can do it better, because yeah, those things, those sardine balls falling apart, that was not intended, because the recipe itself, like the picture of it, did not have any of that. So I goofed up there, but I think the other ones are winners. So I gave you 3 that I can vouch for, good recipes, and then the fourth one I might have goofed on. But we all have our days where we're messing up, and so don't beat yourself up about that. And on that note, bye Mom, still not dead. See ya.